Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are live. I'm so excited that you got to join us today because we have a special guest.
We have a special guest today, and I'm excited about the special guest today. But before we get to our special guest,
we're going to talk about it.
How are you feeling?
Absolutely. I think that there's been a lot of feelings. We have become aware of some feelings that have been going on in our world, and we're going to talk about it a little bit.
I did a lot of watching the YouTube about that last night, actually.
About feelings. Whoa, feelings. Well, we're going to talk about it.
All right, let's go.
So give us a moment. We will be back in a moment. Back in a moment.
Good morning. My name is Brian McNeill.
And I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And thank you for joining us on our show, Let's Talk About It. We come to each Monday through Friday right here on the SIBN network, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Like. Good morning, guys. Thank you for joining this morning. Good morning, Brittany. Good morning.
It's Brittany. Good morning, Brittany. How you doing?
Thank you so much for joining us. So once again, we are the Empowerment Duo. This is Let's Talk About It. We do have a special guest in the green room for this morning that we're excited to bring to you. But I am telling you, there has been a temperature shift.
Which I like.
Not just the physical temperature, but the emotional temperature climate has also shifted as well.
Actually, now I don't know enough about this to talk about it intelligently for long.
Mm-hmm.
But for a few moments, I'm gonna say this because it's been all over my timeline, and Mercury was in retrograde for the last 2 months, and that ended yesterday. So today is the new moon. Today is apparently starting today. You can get stuff done because the moon and the stars and whatever else is in alignment.
Well, I definitely personally felt the shift from retrograde.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Tangibly felt it.
Oh, yeah. It was almost like a lifting of a weight. For me, Mercury
really?
Literally. For me, Mercury in retrograde always feels like I'm going backwards or I'm going into a hole. I feel like I'm getting physically depressed. I feel emotionally drained. And for me, it's more than just atmospheric. It's internal. It really is personal. And when it begins to shift, when it begins to lift, there is like a renewing. It's like a brand new feeling.
Well, apparently it ended
yesterday.
So now we're in new air, I guess.
New energetic force field. Remember, well, you said you don't know very much about the retrograde, but what happens is Mercury is actually spinning on its axis and we're spinning on our axis. And what's happening is much like the way your car feels when you're up against another car that's moving at a different pace than you. You ever be next to a car, either a truck or a car, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, because you felt like you were going backwards, even though your car is still moving forward?
Like at a traffic stop sign. A traffic light.
It could be a traffic light.
And they back up for some reason. And Absolutely. It feels like you're moving forward, but you're not.
Or the opposite is actually what I'm talking about.
Okay.
The opposite. That's actually what I feel during retrograde.
All right.
Like, I know this is not happening. I know I'm not in reverse, but I feel like I'm in reverse. So I'm grateful.
Praise God, you were able to be profitable even then.
Absolutely.
Now, if you were profitable in Mercury retrograde, just think how much more profitable you're going to be now.
Amen. So what do you have to do to renew, to refresh, to
recharge?
Recharge, right.
Recharge, the renew. That's what I want to talk about today with you guys. We do have an amazing guest, like Lisa just said, and he'll be up here in 10 minutes. That's it, just 10 minutes. We'll get our guest in here. And so we'll have some time at the end to properly thank and greet you guys. So that's why we're bringing our guests in a little bit earlier than we typically have been.
Absolutely.
But so what do you do to recharge? Baby, it's so funny. One of the things I love about the Facebook memories is we're able to see what we were doing around this time last year and the year before,
yes.
the year before that.
Yes.
Did you know what we was doing in 2 of the last 3 years about this time of the year?
No.
2 out of the last 3 years,
We're
you and I were on a beach with
Yes.
friends. Both times we was on separate beaches, separate retreats. But about this time a year ago and 2 years ago, we were on a beach with some friends. Okay. And we made great videos in the morning on the beach, at the beach, and the water and the sand between our toes. That we use this time of the year, and typically, apparently, for those years that we went to the beach, by the time we made it to October 20th, we needed some recharging.
I definitely get that.
And we did it from the beach.
Absolutely. I definitely get that. First of all, I love the beach. Mm-hmm. I love the beach, whether I can be in the water or not. I'm grateful.
I can enjoy the beach even in the winter.
Yeah.
I sure can.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, I can. I definitely want to get by the water more frequently. Like, I don't want it to be long stretches of time before I'm by the water.
That's true. We ain't gonna do that no more. Mm-hmm. When we move to Puerto Rico, we're gonna live 5 minutes from the beach. I have a dream house that I want. The house is expensive, but I have a dream house that I want. And we got to figure out a way to get it. That house. It's 2 minutes from the highway, 5 minutes from the beach, 35 minutes from San Juan, 40 minutes from San Juan.
Renewing your
See how specific
battery.
I am with my vision.
Mm-hmm.
Renewing your battery. Yeah. How do you recharge, Sister Brittany? How do you get yourself going again? And I do believe recharge is an important word, because you do run your battery down, and you do have to take a deep breath. And sometimes you have to ringing, meditate. I meditated better in high school than I ever did at any other time in my life.
Why do you think that is?
I have my own room.
You have your own room here. You do.
I have my own room here. Where's my room, baby?
You have your own room. You have 2 of your own rooms. You have 3 of your own rooms. You have your office. You have the den. You have the gazebo. You have a lot.
The gazebo's mine. Really?
You own that room.
I own the gazebo.
Yes.
Anyway, I think the reason why I meditated better in high school is the way my bedroom was set up. I was the only boy and the oldest. I had 3 younger sisters. And I would put a candle in my floor, okay? And I would turn off the lights and close my blinds, and the room would be totally dark except for my candle. And I would sit in my candle, and I would count backwards, and I would meditate, and I would just have that candle as a fixating place, and I would put in good thoughts. Some book I had read told me this is what you should do, okay? But I did it better then than I've done it in my adult life. I did it more regularly, centered myself.
Well, if you got a benefit from it, you could choose to do it again. Brittany says, I have to rest, sleep, pray, and just get to myself. Yes.
Get to yourself.
Getting to yourself.
Oh, man. Where did we see that? Was it you and I together? We were looking at something. We were talking about one of the things you have to do for self-care is to get some alone time. I think that's true. What do you think?
I think you do think that that's true.
You think that I think it's true, but you don't buy it.
Well, I think that each person is unique. I definitely think Brittany says she has to get to herself. So that means Brittany has to get to herself. I think Brian has to get to himself.
At least for a little while.
Yeah. So then Brian has to get to himself.
Mm-hmm.
Me, solo time has been a learned experience.
Okay.
But I get benefit from it.
I would think you do.
Because that's the way you think.
That's the way I think. Maybe that's why I think that.
Yeah, okay? Absolutely.
So recharging today. We got a guest coming in 5 minutes, y'all. 5 minutes. I have I like Bitmojis. The Bitmoji site on our phone, the app.
Yes,
And I post one every day, like good morning something. But they got this one where the bars over your head like the cell phone, and it's all green. Okay, and then it just has my avatar, and then they got some where the battery's like real low over your head. But how do we get to the one where you got all greens, full power, like on your cell phone for yourself? One of the things that does it for me that gets me energized is when I'm studying more. I am getting so much out of Rachel Rogers. Rachel Rogers. I've been listening to her stuff, and it's recharging me. Actually, it's jazzing me up. Rachel Rogers. I was listening to one this morning before I had to go on my meeting at 7 a.m. this morning. Oh, how many of y'all had a meeting at 7 a.m. this morning? But before that, 7 a.m., I was listening to Rachel Rogers. She was talking about scaling your business. Scaling your business. An hour and 3-minute segment. I'm not finished with it, but I will finish it today.
Well, I think that it's really important to do what you need to recharge, to renew your confidence. For me, it is...
We didn't even address that. Confidence.
Yes, for renewing your mind, renewing your confidence. To me, a lot of the renewals for me happen in conjunction with community. So when I have my ladies around, when I have
tonight.
That's right, for Women Empowerment Networks.
You get your ladies around you tonight at 7 p.m. What do you mean when you get your ladies around?
I was trying to get to it, but
go ahead. I'm lobbing it over the plate, baby. All you gotta do is my swinging is going over the fence.
You are interjecting.
I'm helping your butt.
Absolutely.
Brilliantly.
So Women Empowerment Networks is tonight at 7 p.m. And I often find that by sharing our experiences, by sharing what's going on in our lives, we are actually sharing our energy with one another. And it helps us to really move further, faster, and farther.
No doubt. And I know that to be true because sometimes if I go too long, like some months have 5 Tuesdays in it instead of 4. And those months we have 5 Tuesdays, from the 3rd Tuesday of the month to the 1st next month, it's going to be a few weeks instead of just 2. And I find myself missing my bros. I need to get around men. That's why we have male empowerment networks on the 1st and the 3rd Tuesday of every calendar month. Men, because men need men.
Which is tonight.
It's tonight. And teenage men need teenage men. What's the link?
Absolutely. So the links have been emailed out on tonight. If you want to go to maleempowermentnetworks.com for the men, womenempowermentnetworks.com for the women. That's what I was actually looking for when you switched it back to the other thing. So womenempowermentnetworks.com for the women and maleempowermentnetworks.com for the men.
It's always the same link.
Absolutely.
Always the same site.
Absolutely. And we have actually already sent out the emails to those that typically come and are a part of the Empowerment Circle. If you have not received an invitation directly, just become a part of the Empowerment Circle. Go to bit.ly/empowerment2021 to get on the mailing list so that you'll never miss an opportunity to connect with us.
Can you believe this is October 20th already? This year has, think about the year that you've had. I think this has been an amazing year of growth for both of us. I think we've both gotten smarter this year. And I don't think we ran around like a chicken with our head cut off.
Not nearly like 2018.
And like last year.
And 19. No, last year was 2020. We didn't run around like a chicken.
We shifted several times.
Well, yeah, but we did the shifting in the house.
I know, but shifting of focuses and different ways of doing businesses, I felt we were constantly in flux for the year. But this year has been calmer, but I think it's because we've gotten smarter and maybe more mature.
I guess.
So good morning, Miss Phyllis. How you doing?
Hey, Miss Phyllis. So I look forward to seeing you guys there. Take a moment, if you would, right now to share, comment, and like. If there's someone who is not here who you think would benefit from some empowerment this morning, please tag them or invite them to the show.
Time for our guest. Where he at though? Where he at though?
Not where he at though.
Where he at though?
We are excited to present to you our author. He's a 2-time empowerment author. He's a motivational
returning
speaker.
guest.
He is a returning guest, and we are excited to bring him to you, Mr. Brad Wilder. Brad, your camera
Hey, how
There
you
he is.
doing?
What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
I am good, sir. We're going to have fun with you just like we did last time. But before we get into it, Brad, please take this time to introduce yourself however you would like.
Well, my name's Brad Wilder, as you guys have stated. I'm a two-times author, working on my third book now. So I believe I'm a pretty simple guy. Just want to impact the world, leave an impact everywhere I go, make any situation that I enter or leave better than where I found it. And that's pretty much it. I'm one of 12 kids, the last boy. Um, 5 years military service, still serving National Guard. So I'm married to a beautiful wife. So
He
hey,
just got married, y'all.
I
He
just
still
got
got the
married.
new marriage smell on him.
Oh, yeah, you can smell that. Absolutely.
Congratulations. Now, you said you were the youngest boy out of 12.
Yes, I have 6 brothers. So I make the seventh and last one.
And 12 children in total.
Right. I have
So
5 sisters.
the way that rings in my spirit is in where you were positioned in your family, you had to be competitive, because if you weren't competitive, you probably wouldn't eat a whole lot, you know.
I mean, I wanted to eat a whole lot anyways because they had their way. They would just beat me up for it. So
Is it safe to say that you're competitive?
oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm competitive in a way that doesn't discourage others or tear them down. There's a way to be positive and competitive. There's a way to set yourself apart with your personal standard. And you just got to know the difference. So yeah, I'm very, very competitive. I compete with my wife all the time, no matter what we playing. I compete with her all the time.
Yes, I think Lisa likes the way you describe your competitiveness. She don't really like it when someone beats someone badly and talks about it, you know.
I mean, I'll say this. I agree, then I don't agree to that, Miss Lisa, simply because if you lost, you lost, you know.
See?
You know, losers don't get no prize.
That's right.
So.
Like if we play one-on-one basketball, if I was playing one-on-one basketball with you, like to get say 15, for example, and I beat you, say 15-3. Okay.
Which you probably won't do, but go ahead.
See, a ball player wouldn't let that go. Okay, he wasn't gonna let that go at all.
Now, I would just hypothetically, if it did so happen to take place, I would simply say running back.
Yeah, we play again. I'm the
You're
same
not
way.
just going
You
to
beat
beat
me,
me and I'm going to walk.
You don't get to leave. You got to play again. That's how that goes. So anyway, we love you very much and we love your mission. And let's talk about why we have you back.
Absolutely.
Why we have you back right now. What's going on? Right there. Isn't that it?
Yeah, this is the latest book in the project. But
let's
go
talk
ahead,
about
Brad.
it.
What you want to talk about?
I guess we could talk about the book. Why I wrote the book is, as you can tell, there's a black child on the cover of that book. And I just really want to not only impact the adults, not only impact the lives of military members and first responder, but the lives of our kids as well. As you all know, that it's very, very hard to change the mind and the mindset of an adult. But if I can get that child who's already has a mind of a sponge, then you can fill them up with positive things. And I think one of the biggest issues when we see the kids today is, and I hear a lot of adults say this, and I quickly correct them on this, is they said the kids ain't how they used to be. The kids ain't this, the kids ain't that. But you see the issue and you don't do anything about it. Like, what are you doing to impact the life of that child? So I believe if I can get to that little girl and say, hey, you are somebody, you are beautiful, you are special, regardless of what the world says about you, you are somebody. And I want you to think of yourself that way, because once you think of yourself that way, you move that way. And once you move that way, everybody who don't mean good for you, they won't even come around you.
Yeah,
and
so, they move out of the way.
Absolutely.
They move out of the way. Now, this book is called The Warrior Princess. The Warrior Princess was written by Brad Wilder and illustrated by Anthony Skinner II. And these young men are both, Brad is really committed to helping our children have positive examples of positive attributes.
Which I love.
Absolutely. Positive examples of positive attributes. And I love this. I love this even for the cover alone. I love seeing the young lady imagining herself not as a damsel in distress, not
It's a
as a
powerful
princess
warrior.
waiting for a prince to come and save her, but as a warrior princess. That is a young woman who is fully capable of handling what life sends her way. And I
Absolutely.
thought that that was a powerful, powerful this depiction.
And I liked how you were describing when you hear people talk about the kids today ain't this and that, and how you defended it. I really, really like that. It inspired me. It reminded me of the Frederick Douglass quote, and I went and pulled it up exactly, where he says, "It is easier to build strong children than it is to repair broken men." You
Absolutely.
know, it's
I,
easier to build strong children. And I think you and your works, your ministry, Brad, helps us to build strong children.
absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Look at that. Can
Absolutely.
you show that page to the
Yes,
audience
this
right
is
there?
that's what I was pulling it up. This page really is an instrumental reflection of this book. This young lady is standing in the power of her strength and utilizing her thoughts to identify a whole lot of different ways that she can change the world. She can change the world as a teacher, an investor, a firefighter, an architect, a business
A
owner,
lawyer,
a
a truck
lawyer,
driver.
or a scientist. And honestly, however she could use her imagination is what she can accomplish.
I love that.
I think it's a really, really great. Now, where can they get the book, Brad?
um, so on my website, you can place your order there. If you're anywhere close to me, which I don't know where everyone is, but I would deliver to you, or I can just, like you said, place it through the mail, and I'll have it in the mail as soon as possible.
But talk to us some more about your ministry, your overall, your mission. This is your second book we mentioned. Do you have your first book handy?
I do.
I
I
want you
do.
to please talk about what's inspired you to write the first book and then the second book. And what would you say is your ministry when it comes to these books?
What inspired me to write the first book? I'll be honest with you, and it didn't make sense until like a month ago when I was with my dad. But when I began to sell these books, when we pushed it out, I made about $3,000 in 3 hours, $2,000 or $3,000 in three hours from 36. And I didn't understand why, but I was laying in my bed one night, and I've never thought about writing a book before, never thought about any of it. And it's like, I don't know why. It's almost like God was like, "Hey, you got to do this," and I was like, "I don't understand this." But to fast forward, I see why now. I was at work with my dad and was laying some concrete, we're laying the driveway, and God spoke to me. He was like, the concrete went through all that on that truck. The been sprayed with water, twisting, and turning, just to be laid down forever so someone can drive over it. And it hit me like a brick. I was like, "Whoa!"
Whoa.
So like, hold up, God, like you telling me, because what I don't say, what I told a few people, but when this book came out, my family and my brothers was murdered when I was 7, and what happened was that divided um, my brother's baby's mother family and my family. We haven't spoken over 17 years, but when I released this book, the aunt came in and said, was like, "Hey, your nephew is struggling, and I want him to know that he has some powerful bloodline, and he has positive men in his family. I would love for you to meet with him and talk to him." 17 years of our family not talking because of this book. I bridged
Wow.
that gap. No one else in my family has been able to do that. And it was like God was telling me, "Yeah, I know you didn't understand, but I was making you write this book so you can break that 17-year miscommunication. I
Wow.
wanted you to
Yes.
break that." And so I can't tell you why I wrote the first book and where the title came from and none of it like that. It was out of my control. I can tell you why I wrote the second book, to impact the lives of our young women. It was out of my control how I wrote the first one. I'll be honest with you. I never sat down and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna write this book so I can make money." No, I don't know why I wrote that book, but it made sense
Yeah.
when that aunt reached out, was like, "Hey, 17 years.
That's
I
a
want you."
great story and a lesson. It's warming me up. And that's probably the purpose of it. But please go ahead and tell the title of the first book and and showcase for the audience? Because there might be someone that wants it.
Okay, so this book is called The Boy Who Dared to Dream.
The Boy Who Dared to Dream.
Yes, sir. And basically this book is about the power of imagination. And I like to use one of my favorite scriptures, Proverbs 18:16, where a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. Like a lot of people skip over that. They think, well, if I can just do this and do this and do this, and I kind of put a little of my testimony in here, speaking through this child, is I grew up not being the smartest kid. Not because I really didn't apply myself, because I never saw myself working for someone. Like my mindset is totally different. I never saw myself working for someone. I never saw myself touching somebody else's clock. And it's like God has like for my life to like build generational wealth for my family, where we never have to work again. We never have to do none of that stuff. And just really telling a testimony of how if God tells you your gift will make room for you, why am I out here trying to fix your go-kart? That's not my gift. My gift is communication. And so I grew up where I would fail tests and the teachers would tell me, and I actually had this happen, you would not be successful. You won't make it this far. You won't make it to college. Well, now I look back at it, I done been to college. I ran on the track scholarship. I'm in the military. I've done everything they say I couldn't do, but I had to tune out their noise and say, okay, God, what is my gift? And here's the most important part that I tell people now. God, how can I let my gift glorify you? Because I don't need the glory for it. How can you use me? Like, what is your plan for my life? Like, what is that? And so I just wrote this, this book kind of tells a lot of the power of dreaming. Don't ever let nobody steal your vision, because anything that's in front of you, us talking on this phone right now, iPhones, computers, someone had a vision to create that. That was their gift. Therefore, look at how society has changed because of it. Everybody can't be a scientist. Everybody can't be a mathematician. Everybody can't be a truck driver. Some people have a gift that is going to change your world. And I want to ask this question to you when scripture tells you about the cup running over, right? I asked this question to my videographer. I said, hey, you ever thought about where the excess goes when it runs over? Like, imagine we all sitting at a table and my cup pours over. Where does it go? It probably
either the saucer or the table or what?
Mm-hmm. It's probably going to splash on you, on me, on everybody else. So what it's saying is my gift is not only for me. It's meant to be shared with you, impact your life, impact your kids' life. Everything that I am and me growing into my purpose and my gift is not only going to affect me, because I ain't got no choice but to travel around this world and I'm going to meet somebody. So it's that simple. And so I just kind of tell a story through that and just remind our kids that keep dreaming. Whatever you want to be, don't let no one discourage you of that.
Keep
dreaming. His name is Brad Wilder. Brad Wilder. Brad, is likely because we love you and I love the stories you tell, and I can feel your heart. I can tell you being 100% genuine. But there might be someone else who this is their first exposure to you, and they might be buying into your energy. How do you prefer people connect with you when they want to connect with you?
Well, you could. I have my email and my website. If you want to email me there, I have my social media, Instagram. I have.
What's your Instagram handle?
THE_Grunt38. So I have my social media there. A lot of people, that's it right there. I know a lot of people reach out to me for those those ways, as well as my Facebook is Brad Wilder. It's pretty cut and dry. You can reach me there. You can follow the page, send me a message. I'll respond back to you. I might not get to it right away, but I'll definitely get to it. But
I love it. And I want the right people to keep connecting with you, man, because I think these two books, they say a lot. They say a whole lot. And you're speaking to an audience that's, I believe, underserved.
Absolutely.
Those children.
Absolutely. Brittany says, keep dreaming. And Felicia, she says her father was the oldest of 12. I have to think that that's a very different position than the youngest of 12.
It's difficult because you're raising kids.
Oh, yeah.
From the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Brittany also said that's awesome, man. We love your testimony, your story. So you have a wife now, a new wife.
Absolutely.
You have any children?
Not yet.
Okay.
They just got married. I know that doesn't make it impossible, but
I'm trying to make sure people know my brother Brad. Okay? He's married, ladies, so chill. And he's writing about children.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, he's written about children, but his next book, you want to go ahead and
He
tease
did
out?
say another book was
Yeah.
coming.
Do you want to go ahead and tease out your next project that we're working on?
Yes. So my next project that we're working on is something that I prolonged for like 4 years now. But I said, let me go ahead and push it out. So I reach the adults. I speak to a lot of adults. I speak to kids. I speak to veterans. I speak all to anybody really, but this one is for the adults. So I'm writing a quote book, my inspirational quotes that I use for daily living that I apply into my life every day. And this book will be put together with reflection pages and some quotes that I use. Kind of not only a book that you just read, but a book that you reflect on. So one of my quotes in the book, I'm gonna just give you guys this is you can't drive forward looking back, right? You don't drive your car forward looking back. No, you can't focus on where you came from. You got to keep driving forward because there's nothing else back. It's behind you for a reason. And if you wanna get to your destination, you can't be saying, "Well, I left that," but no, keep driving, keep right on driving. Like it's not. If it was meant to be with you, it would be with you. And there's sometimes in life that some things are prohibited. And I tell a story about some of the things I've learned at the airport. There's certain things that you just can't take on that plane. And maybe it could be God saying to you, "Hey, these things where I'm taking you, they're prohibited. I have something new for you, but you can't fly like that. You can't
It's
carry all these
beautiful
baggage."
the analogy because jet airplanes don't have rear view mirrors. Okay, they don't. On planes, there are no rear view mirrors, and nothing moves faster than the planes. Cars have rear view mirror, but they're designed for you to glance at.
That's right.
And the rear view mirror is much smaller than the windshield.
Absolutely.
They're designed to just glance in the rear view mirror. You can't stare in the rear view mirror and drive forward. That's why the windshield is so much bigger. But airplanes don't even have rear view mirrors because nothing behind the plane matters to the plane. Nothing behind it.
Not at all. The word of God says to leave all things behind, press towards the mark, which is the high calling in Christ Jesus. And we get to be mindful that there are some things that simply will not go with you and stay with you and come with you. And, I'm grateful that he promised us beauty for ashes, because sometimes there's fear in what we've left behind, that there'll never be anything as good as that. And the truth of the matter is, even ashes, God is going to give us beauty for ashes. His word says that he will restore everything that the moth and the cankerworm have eaten. So I love that.
Brad, we got 3 more minutes with you. Okay. You've already done a really, really great job of kind of like letting us know your ministry and what you want to leave our audience. But I always like to give the last 2 to 3 minutes to our guests in case there's something that you haven't had a chance to say that you want to share with this particular audience. This is an entrepreneurial audience. This is a supportive audience. They're a loving audience, and they're more mature as well. So is there anything that you would like to leave our audience with from you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely say, as I prepare to leave you guys, is you're never out of that fight. Right? You're never too low. You're never forgotten. You're never going to be left alone. Because one thing I've learned being on this entrepreneur journey is he brought you to it. That he's going to bring you through it. Like it's that simple. And you got to think, like every thought that comes into your mind, that's simply God talking to you. I remember my father used to tell me, like, "Son, God is talking to you all the time." I'm like, "Dad, I don't hear nobody talking to me." But what he was simply saying is, if you pay attention, like we try to put God in this one-dimensional box that he can only do it this way, and that's it, and that's the wrong answer. Like hold him to his promises, hold him to his word, believe in that, because like you say, like the scripture say, "For we walk by faith and not by sight." It is not the lack of opportunities that stop you; it's the lack of faith that you have in the opportunities. Because if you don't have faith, you're not going to walk anyway. So focus more on having that faith than the opportunity. And because of your faith being so strong, the opportunity will literally be there for you. So it's the faith that discourages you. It's not the opportunity that changes. It's that simple. Like it's that simple.
Brad, you're a rock star, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. We appreciate you.
His name is Brad Wilder, y'all. Support him, buy his books, and you know what? Holiday season's coming up. This book, both of his books,
both of them,
The Boy That Dared to Dream and The Warrior Princess, would be phenomenal gifts this holiday season, you have a grandchild that needs these books. Now, Brad, I don't know if you noticed it the last time you were here when we were talking about your last book, but our audience here, we support each other. We buy each other's books. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I love that you told the story that you made $3,000 from the sale of your book in about 3 hours.
Absolutely.
Okay. That tells me that people wanted it. Okay.
Absolutely. Felicia, thank you so much for your comments. She said, I agree. God is always talking to us. We must walk by faith and not by sight. Amen, Brad. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
If you would stay in the green room just briefly for us until the end of the show, if you can, we would love to wrap up with you personally, if that's okay.
Okay. That sounds good.
All right.
Thank you, Brad. Was he not good?
We absolutely
Did he not bless us?
Are grateful for bringing our authors on.
Oh, that was great.
You want to go to widelyinspirational.company.site. It is scrolling on the bottom of your screen there. You can check out Brad on his social media. He does some amazing motivational videos on his Instagram. Just follow at the Grunt38. That's at the _Grunt38. And you will be inspired to greatness.
I like his energy so much. And how many of you guys have ever been his age before? You know, he's what, 25, if that? Okay. I'm guessing. I don't know. But I should have asked him. But I just love his energy, his strength, his drive, and his life is on a beautiful arc. He's published 2 books.
And on his way to the 3rd. We're working on it now.
Speaking of, and he's published 2 children's books. Now, Lisa has, for years now, encouraged you guys to write children's books because of the freedom you have. The freedom you have writing a children's book. You can say anything in the children's book that sometimes you can't say in any other way, you know? So write these children's books. But to that end, Lisa had this brilliant idea that we're going to have another children's authors showcase. Is that right, baby?
Yes, Brian. So on October the 31st, hopefully this date will work for all of the authors, but we are looking forward to having this will be the 2nd or 3rd children's authors. The 3rd children's authors showcase. We are looking forward to having those authors with children's books, sharing the stories to children, possibly even having some activities and having some opportunities for them to really help to inspire our children to greatness.
It's one of the most inspirational things we do. The first time we did it was pre-pandemic, and we did it in a room. We packed the room. People told their children, in a big room too. The room is designed to seat 65. We packed it, and people were standing. And last year we did it virtually. But it was still so, everyone read their children's stories. It was so inspirational, reading these children's stories and listen to the authors, you know, behind the stories. And this year probably even better.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. So, you know, every time that we come together, we have the opportunity to really be connected with our audience because we have such an interactive audience, and I'm always happy for that.
Yes, man. Thank you guys so much. And speaking of interactive audience, it took some time for us to get Brittany Thomas here because we started October 2016 doing this show daily. When we first started, it was a 15-minute broadcast, and we had a lot of technical difficulties. And the broadcasts were very often frozen and scratchy and not very clear. Yeah. And then Damona DeBrew came along. And she encouraged us. She was there from the beginning. She encouraged, y'all got to go to at least 30 minutes because I just started getting into you and then you guys leave. So y'all got to go to at least a half an hour. And she said it in such a way that made sense to us. Okay. But then after Damona, then you get someone like Melissa Price come on the scene and a few other people come on the scene when we're still at a half an hour show. And it's like, no, y'all got to go to at least an hour. TV shows are an hour. Y'all got to go to at least an hour to do this kind of thing. It made sense to us. We moved to an hour and vowed we will never go longer than an hour.
No longer than an hour.
Brittany says, we've had some amazing guests lately. We're doing good. We have been having some great guests.
We have some more guests scheduled this weekend, next week, I think it is.
Yes. This week and next. We got more other stuff. So as a way, we have a way of thanking you guys that have been rocking with us for years, that are consistent contributors. This show would not work at all without you guys' contributions. Not at all. So The way we thank you is with greeting songs and with greeting logos. And who's up first today?
Up first is Brittany. I think Brittany was on first today.
Okay. It's Brittany.
It's Brittany.
It's Brittany, Brittany Thomas.
It's Brittany. It's Brittany.
It's Brittany, Brittany.
It's your time. It's your time. Yeah.
Good morning, Miss Brittany Thomas. Brittany, I hope you have a good day lined up ahead of you.
Yes.
I've heard you talk about things that are resting, and you talk about what's a good day for you. I hope you have a good day ahead of you, Brittany. Miss Phyllis George is here. Miss Phyllis has been rocking with us for years.
Absolutely.
For years. And her logo is, I see Dr. Beverly over there. Miss Phyllis is here.
Hey, Miss
So
Phyllis.
clear the way. Miss Phyllis is here. Now we can all have a great day.
Absolutely.
Dr. Beverly says, hi, family. Good morning,
Hey,
Dr. Beverly.
We missed you at the top of the show. We're glad that you were able to make it. Hey, Felicia. Felicia, we love you.
You're the one for me. Yesterday, as we were leaving, Arthur Lynette popped on and said hi, and we didn't sing her song yesterday, so I missed her. I apologize for missing you, Arthur Lynette. If you are on any screen, say something.
Say something so we know you're there, because we got to know that you're there. But I did see Arthur Lynette shortly after the show, and I kind of thought that she was watching the replay.
Okay.
That was what I thought. But
okay.
Anyway, it's Dr. Beverly.
It's on the show. Good morning, Dr. Beverly.
Hey,
how you
Dr.
doing?
Beverly. Now, Dr. Beverly, we actually talked about you before the show today, because I had one of those fun-filled moments with Brian this morning that I knew would give you a tickle. So Brian had to get up early this morning because he's working with his new admin, onboarding them onto his systems and everything. And what was funny was he knew he had to get up at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. So he had to set his early alarm earlier than we normally get up. But he woke up, hey, Brenda, he actually woke up 4 minutes before the alarm. And when he woke up, he said, Alexa, what time is it? And
it's 9:42 a.m.
I knew you shouldn't have
thank
said
you.
that.
I know I shouldn't have said it either. He was like, Alexa, what time is it? And I just said it again. I'm sorry. And then immediately it was 5:56.
Okay.
Right? It was 5:56 is what time it was this morning. He gets up, he asks what time it is, and then he goes like literally awake enough to ask what time it is, and immediately goes back to sleep for exactly 4 minutes. I was like, bruh, you needed them 4 minutes. They was calling your name.
It seems impossible that it happened the way she said, but I guess it did.
No, it did. I thought it was hilarious. I couldn't even go back to sleep because it was so, I was like, whoa, are you kidding me? Yes. Brittany says, I love my song. And Lauren says, good morning. Hey, good morning, Lauren.
And you guys bring her so much joy. Who's Lauren?
Lauren is her caregiver.
Oh, hello. Good morning, Miss Lauren. How you doing?
Good morning.
Dr. Beverly says the phone is doing some whatever it is once this morning. So I apologize for just getting here and got the replay though. Yes. And good morning, Miss Brenda Booker Bull. Because it's tricky to buy a home or sell a home. Don't do it alone. Choose Brenda.
Hey, choose Brenda. Brenda. It's tricky to buy a home or sell a home. Don't do it alone. Choose Brenda. Hey, choose Brenda.
Imagine today, particularly today, buying a home or selling a home.
You can't do that by yourself.
I'm saying, you know what? I don't need no real estate agent. I bought homes before.
Mm-mm.
I bought this home 10 years ago without an agent. I'm going to sell this home 10 years from that.
You will be missing out on some stuff.
You are going to mess it up.
Taking advantage of. There's a lot.
It's too much. There's so much stuff that goes into a retail transaction. You, homeowner, just because you own a home, you're not qualified. You don't know enough.
You need to get an expert. Call the experts. And
a real live breathing expert who can talk to you about the process.
And call someone who's all heart and no bull.
And I know a lot of people think, oh, I don't need a real estate agent because there's these other things. You try these other things and then you go running looking for a competent real estate agent. That's what happens today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
I can't do it like this. This is not working. I need a real estate agent. So anyway, it's 9:45. We're doing good. I like how my day ahead of me is scheduled. I have a little bit of time right after the end of this show, which is what I need to get my admin some stuff. But then I got an 11 and I got the 3 and I got the 7. I like how my day is laid out today.
Well, you don't have an 11 and a 3 and a 7. You have an 11, a 1, a 3 and a 7.
That's right. That's right. Because at 1 o'clock today, whoop, 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 whoop. 1 o'clock today, as we do every Tuesday. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. It's the Sales Confidence Podcast. The Sales Confidence Podcast. Let me talk to Brenda. I'm so glad you're here. Dr. Beverly, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad all of you guys are here, really. But last night, Lisa and I both got on a Clubhouse. And the topic of this discussion, and it was a great room too, with a lot of really, really smart people in the room. The topic was the Great Resignation. And it's so interesting that I found it because it was I found it right after I had seen a news broadcast, a news snippet, and I saw a Trevor Noah clip about the Great Resignation. What's the Great Resignation? Last month, 4.3 million people quit their jobs. 4.3 million people in this country officially resigned. They quit their jobs. And the month before, 4 million people quit their jobs. So in the last 2 months, 8.3 million people went to their employers and said, deuces.
Yeah.
So, and they're calling this the Great Resignation.
Absolutely.
Why are so many people quitting their jobs?
Absolutely.
And there are a lot of reasons.
Well, there are a lot of reasons. Some of the reasons are simply because they realize how underrespected they are and how underappreciated they are. Because how are you going to be, hey, amen, Beverly. She says, I was one of those people, amen. How are you going to be working from home as it benefits your job? But now that they're bringing people back into the office and you're saying, you know what, I would prefer to work from home for my job because I have some other things that I have to handle, or I have a long commute, or whatever the case is. And now they're saying, no, you can't work from home.
We're going to talk about this more in depth tomorrow.
Absolutely.
But I heard one lady talking about her company has informed everybody that if you're not fully vaccinated by February, you're fired. Okay. That means she calls it the stab. You got to get the stab by February. And she says, I already know I'm not going to get the stab. So I have between now and February to prepare my affairs so that I can leave.
Right.
Okay. But there are a lot of reasons why people quit their job. And even pre-pandemic, 90% of Americans didn't like their job anyway.
Right. So now the pandemic just gave them some help.
That's right.
Honey, I didn't want to be here no how. But the thing is, a lot of those people, they're not looking to just do nothing. They're looking to operate in purpose. They're looking to operate in purpose. It's
more big now than it has ever been before. People want to live in purpose, not just a job. And it's just, I think it's beautiful, actually. People are not wanting just to get the money to pay the bills. They want their lives to mean something, even at work.
Absolutely.
The growing trend, and that means something. So we're going to talk about it in more detail tomorrow, and I'm excited about that conversation. But I'm going to talk about it today on the Sales Confidence Podcast, too. The Great Resignation. What I'm going to talk about today was, what must you do if you decide to resign? What skills do you need to have?
What skills do you need? There's definitely some skills that are necessary. There's also some benefits that are necessary. There's some transactions that you've got to handle.
Were you on when people started rallying behind this concept of having 3 to 6 months saved before you leave your? Were you on then?
No.
You wouldn't have liked it because this is a ministry that a thought process that Lisa and I both agree on. People are saying things like, before you quit your job, have 3 to 6 months saved and a business plan. Have a business plan written out. have your business plan, because it's foolish. They don't even go so far, baby, saying it's foolish to quit your job if you don't have 3 to 6 months savings. Here's what happens if you have 6 months savings.
You're not going to get serious until the 5th month.
Yes, exactly.
That's
if you have 6 months savings, you're
not going to get serious until the 5th month. And if
because you need that urgency.
Absolutely. And if you have I've stopped being so con business plan, but I want you to have a sales plan. I don't just, if you want to have a 5-year, 10-year plan, whatever, go ahead and spend your time doing that. But the thing is, we know from this period to 5 years before, life changed.
Your business is entirely different.
So much so that your business plan that you created back then would be totally obsolete. But if that's what you want, go ahead and do it.
You're not going to be doing the same thing 5 years. No way.
Not.
If you're in business, because you're going to have to adapt.
Absolutely.
To your marketplace. And your marketplace is going to dictate to you which direction you want to go. You don't get to dictate to the market. The market is going to dictate it to you.
Absolutely.
So, baby, when I said all those things are great to have, but before you get any of those things, you need just one paying client.
Absolutely.
Because you need proof of concept.
What are people willing to buy from you? That's right, Brenda. Brenda said the savings decreases your hustle.
If you ever watch Shark Tank and listen to Mark Cuban's comments, especially if you watch a lot of episodes, Mark Cuban believes you gotta want to make money right away.
Sometimes
if you have money in reserves,
then go use that. Come back and we'll talk after that. Because you haven't gotten to the place where you've decided that this is really what you have to do. A lot of times it's just what you want to do. And sometimes what you want to do and what you are called to do are not exactly right side by side.
When you have to do something, you get the energy, the strength, the perseverance, and the stick-to-itiveness. What I was going to say, dang, I forgot it. Anyway, I lost my place.
Being in a place where you understand how to build what you want, how to build it with nothing. How to build it out of nothing. That and have to build it out of nothing. When you have to build it out of nothing, you get creative, you get resourceful, you gain more hours in your day. You are able to make it happen because it's a by any means necessary situation.
The point that escaped me was I told that audience last night of intelligent people, you really only need one paying client. One paying client because it's proof of concept. And if you get one paying client, then you've learned how to get one paying client. That means you can get another one, and then another one, and another one. That's all you need.
An assistant and a brother. No.
That's what you need to have.
Absolutely.
In my opinion. And they wanted to defend themselves. And I didn't get a lot of support to my thought process because most of them
are still working jobs.
They're corporate. They were corporate people. Okay.
And that's why for me, and that's something that I am resigning myself to, maybe not resigning, accepting, is that what you say and who you are is not for everybody.
That's right.
And everybody doesn't have to agree with you. Only those who need to agree with you.
I'm so glad I got a wife that understands that, and we're in lockstep in agreement.
Felicia says, I totally agree. Because of mandates at work to get jabbed, low wages are not meeting the cost of living. Some just decided to work for themselves. Hello.
Yes. And Lisa started off this talk about the disrespect. Okay. First off, people are leaving jobs, so they're begging people to work. I saw some McDonald's giving $21 an hour at McDonald's because they don't have no people. Yeah. Okay. And they pillage each other's employees. Other restaurants in the places where they're losing the most jobs. Healthcare, retail. Healthcare and retail. They're desperate for people. Well, retail don't pay enough. Okay. Healthcare, you're working too many hours for not enough money.
Yep.
Okay. Woo! And this one lady, she had a great business on there last night. I liked her business. Does similar to what Teresa Crawford does.
Oh yeah, the card lady.
I liked her business.
Shauna, what was her name?
Kelly or Shelly?
No,
anyway, she set an appointment with me.
Okay.
I was so surprised this morning when I looked at my Clubhouse this morning. I had so many people who didn't speak up but wanted to follow me from Clubhouse.
Mhm.
So I spent a lot of time this morning saying, thanks for the follow. Let's see if we can further each other's missions, and left my Calendly link this morning to about 30 people.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, fast food industry as well. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Even things like DoorDash are going out of their way now to hire on contractors. Like they're
Wow.
giving incentives for contractors because fast food restaurants is just not working.
And people want to have, we're working from home. We want DoorDash. Come bring me my food. Oh, we want you to keep using our service, but we can't get to you for another hour. Please, I need some more people.
Absolutely.
Okay? It's a funny thing, and I think it's going to continue. I think it's going to continue.
I think it's a good thing, though. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a awakening moment for some of the corporate climate. One of the things that I learned early on.
I like it because now they got to compete.
Yeah, one of the things I learned early on, one of the reasons why I left corporate was the analogy that, and I'm trying to remember who told it to me, but have a bucket of water.
Yes.
And spin your hand in it.
Or just put your hand in it.
And you'll make a hole.
Mm-hmm.
And take your hand out, and that's how fast they'll fill your position.
Yep.
That's how much they needed you in there.
Yep.
They didn't. Right. So now it's taking them longer to fill those positions, but they're still not quite yet respecting those that held them.
Yep. People that stayed. I heard the same thing, but if you just put your hand in a bowl of water, and when you put your hand out, as fast that hole fills up where your hand was, that's how fast they'll replace you. They will.
They will.
Okay. But not today. It's hard to do today, which means they got to change their game. They got to compete. They got to incentivize. They got to respect.
And that's why sometimes things do have to get worse before they can get better.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes the awareness doesn't come through until then.
But we're going to get into that a little bit more tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So now y'all know what we're going to talk about tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to talk about today at 1 o'clock on my podcast, the Sales Confidence Podcast.
At 1 p.m. and it's on LinkedIn. It'll be also here on Facebook Live on Brian's page.
Yes.
And
YouTube.
And on YouTube. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Don't forget to have sex.